Alright, this is Diesel We the People News. Alright, this video is without prejudice and without recourse. I'm going to stand on UC 31-308, all rights reserved. Okay? Just for argument's sake, I'm not an attorney, nor care to be one, y'all. I'm not going to be bound to the bar union. If I'm going to do something, I want to do it without chains. Okay? So I'm not in cahoots in the criminal activities that's going on. Excuse me. So I never look straight forward, I always look around me. Be able to protect myself by any means necessary. You guys subscribe if you haven't done it by now. James Freeman. Alright. He's got other YouTube channels. Can't think of it off the top of my head. But I am going to make one opinion on this video, I believe. So, let's go.
Hey everybody, it's James Freeman, and today's video is coming to us from Punta Gorda, Florida, where the Punta Gorda police threatened to give a citation to Live Free or Die Cop Watch for protesting on a public sidewalk. They claim that his particular form of protest violates a city ordinance, want to give him a citation, and want his ID. Because they're dealing with someone who knows what he's doing, they even come with the printed ordinance on paper to show to him. Now, it's questionable whether the ordinance is even constitutional or not, due to the fact that his protest doesn't violate any reasonable time, place, or manner restrictions. But besides that, the violation is civil.
Okay, let's stop there. Ordinance. First, you got to find out what ordinance is, okay? By the American jurisprudence, okay, ordinance is member in the corporation, okay? So, even when they said this ordinance that he is violating, now it's up to the city to find and give proof that he is a member of that city corporation. Okay? So, all these house ordinance and what you got to do with your laws and your yard and all that kind of stuff, it's an ordinance. It does not attend to you unless you actually tell them, or you tacitly agreed, or you silence or acquiescence agreed that you are a member in a corporation. Okay? So, most lawyers actually do know this. However, guess what, people? They're not helping you. They see dollar signs. They do not help you. Okay? Sorry about that. I cut that down a little bit anyway. Alright, just like resident. Resident is a renter. Okay? I own my own house, plan out. Okay? So I am not a resident. And my property is private property. Period. 100% clear. I do not have no renters on it. I do not have anything else on it. So therefore, the ordinance don't apply to me. And residence does not apply to my property. It cannot apply to it. Unless I tacitly agreed with the city or county, or just stayed in silence or acquiescence if they gave me any notices. Always do your due diligence. You got to fall back and tell them, prove and give evidence that you are a resident, which means you are what? A renter. Prove of the ordinance that you are a member of their corporation. Alright.
Not criminal. And under Section 901.36, Florida Failure to ID Law, it's only legal to give a false ID to police. It doesn't say anything about being required.
Sorry, one more time, y'all. Remember, this is supposed to be civil. Alright? So what is civil? It's contract. You know, they say there's criminal civil, but there really technically ain't. there is only civil criminal if you tacitly agree to it. So if they said this is civil, where is the contract?
To ID under any circumstance. But just keep in mind that knowing and understanding the law isn't necessarily ever going to help you in a situation with a police officer, as police officers rarely know or understand the law. As I've shown you in hundreds of videos on this channel, they don't typically operate under the law, but rather under their feelings and the fact that they're willing to use any amount of violence and force necessary to get what they want. The question is, do the
And I think James Freeman and other cop watchers and all that need to start actually using a little bit more of First Amendment, right? That most of the times they're using First and Fourth Amendment. You're trespassing on the First Amendment that I stand on. Right? And you got to tell them, you're giving them notice. I'm giving you notice of trespass on my standing on the First Amendment and my Fourth Amendment. Alright? And then you got to say it 3 times, y'all. I don't know what it is about this magical 3 thing, but you got to say it at minimum of 3 times. Because now it's been established that they actually know what you're saying. So if they actually go in and arrest you for that First Amendment violation on you, that trespass on you, now you got a leg to stand on because you told them, right? If anything that you do that's going to come out of your pocket, and if they proceed forward, then you're taking full responsibility.
Gorda police actually want $75 out of this guy bad enough to attack him today, or are they just going to walk away and let it go? Because this guy is not giving up his ID.
What's up? What's up? What?
Breaking city code ordinance.
How? I'm protesting.
City code ordinance 102.
I'm protesting. You can't make a crime out of the First Amendment. What ordinance am I breaking?
Okay. You can look at it if you would like. Do you have any identification?
Well, what's the ordinance? I need to know the ordinance that I'm committing first.
1402.
And what is
Do you
that?
have any identification on you?
What crime did I commit? This is a civil. This is civil. This is not criminal. This is civil, correct? Is it civil or is it criminal?
Listen to what he's telling you. You violated City Code Ordinance 14-2 because of the use of the bullhorn, okay? You can stand out here and talk all you want and use your sign, do whatever you want, but you can't use the bullhorn. It's in the statute right here, 14-2. So, he's asking you for an ID. Do you have one or not?
I have a question before I present any ID. Is it a criminal offense or is it a civil offense?
It's a City Code violation.
And is that civil or criminal? It's a simple question. Civil?
It's a civil.
Thank you. So it's not criminal. That means I've not committed a crime. So what is your reasonable cause of suspicion for the ID then? Wait, didn't we talk about when?
No, I've never talked to you.
No, not you then. I don't know who it was.
So, civilly, okay, it rules that you have to abate it, which means cease it. Okay?
Correct.
So, if we have to come out here again, you're getting a $100 fine.
Okay.
If you refuse to stop the bullhorn, you will be arrested for obstruction.
Obstruction.
Yes.
But it's protesting. You can't make.
No, ceasing. No. It'd be ceasing the orders. We respect your protest right.
Clearly not. But when the pro-choicers were out here, you didn't give them this.
That's not true. I was not even here for that.
A bunch of y'all's chief was out here.
Listen, Lewis.
Davis, I believe.
Lewis.
How do you know my name?
Because I know you from 2 weeks ago when you were here, or 3.
I thought we didn't talk though.
I didn't talk, but I'm paid to know people. Okay, so I know who you are because we have to address complaints from you.
So if you know who I am, then why are you asking me for my ID?
Because I don't know who you are.
Oh, he just said
I
it.
don't remember your full name. I just remember somebody's first name. That's it. Okay, we respect your ability to protest.
Clearly.
We respect your sign. We respect that. Okay. The thing is, when we get a complaint and the use of the bullhorn, and then we witnessed it, we had to do it.
The pro-choices were out here 2 weeks ago with bullhorns.
Can't address that, sir.
Oh, but you won't give them a noise ordinance when they were making a crap ton of noise. But I have to get addressed.
Well, do you understand the 14-2?
But why? So this is malicious. This is malicious.
Lewis, look, Google City of Punta Gorda ordinances, look that up and you'll see it.
It's clearly unconstitutional. And
Do you have an idea or not?
what's the crime?
Okay, so if there's a complaint, then the witness needs to sign an affidavit and with perjury on there. All right, for this to stick. Until then, there is no witnesses and there's no complaint.
Committed. What crime did I commit?
You do not have an idea.
I didn't say that. Don't put words in my mouth. What crime did I commit?
Provide an ID.
What crime did I commit? Answer me what crime I committed, and I'll present an ID. If you can say a Florida statute that I have violated,
Louis,
which is a crime,
You have violated.
it's civil. That's civil, correct?
Louis? Okay, so is speeding. Okay,
That's traffic is different from civil.
Louis, they're both civil. Okay, all right, we're done. Okay, you understand that the bullhorn is not longer allowed use. Okay, if you want to fight it in the code board. Okay, once
Oh, the kangaroo court, right?
yeah, it's up to you. All right, have a good day.
Nope, because I didn't commit any crime.
Louis, have a good day.
Committed no crime.
Hey, talk to your buddy. He wants to talk to you.
Okay, and he can wait, and I'll address him.
Louis, we agree with good discourse. Okay.
Clearly not. I have the right to protest.
Can you just listen to me? Okay. This has nothing to do with your sign or your ability to protest.
Clearly it does, because I'm using this as an instrument of protest. True or not true?
No.
So I'm not using this to protest. I'm not using this to get my message, right?
Okay. Unless you get a permit from the city for that.
So I have to have a permit to exercise a constitutional right.
No. To use a bullhorn to disrupt other people.
It's a protest. You cannot make a crime out of the First Amendment.
I'm not. Civil infraction. Take it to the board.
I will be taking it to the board.
Okay.
Fucking pigs. Person who called, their information is above. Reported that a person with anti-cop sign Nazi uniform screaming at people with a bullhorn. So I've already spotted two lies. First of all, I was not in a Nazi uniform. I was in normal clothing. My shirt literally read "Fuck policing for profit." Y'all saw my sign. It was comparing the cops to the Nazis.
You guys can't really do something with him. You guys do something about the flag. This holding up. I mean,
The flag, definitely not.
his cussing and stuff around children.
We're trying to see what we can do as far as. You said he's using a bullhorn?
Yeah.
Something amplified?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that we can address. Everything else is the First Amendment, right?
I know, babe. It's just, you guys are awesome, and he's a piece of shit.
Thank you.
Any comments on slamming that veteran into a wall? At all? No? All right.
And that lady was wearing a navy shirt. Okay. And she's supporting the troops for our freedom. There you go. She just contradicted herself.
That just shows.
I just want to say thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
I'm serious. We come here every week, and it's annoying.
Yeah, we're gonna cite him.
I told my husband, his freedom of speech stops when our freedom starts.
His freedom doesn't trump your freedom. So,
Exactly.
yes,
Thank you for
I agree.
everything
I
you
agree.
do.
Thank you.
I can't believe how many people in Punta Gorda, Florida, believe that they actually have a right to silence other people in public so that they don't have to hear their opinions. Here's a few audio excerpts from Cohen versus California, where the Supreme Court ruled that offensive speech is protected speech.
All right, I'm standing here in front of the federal courthouse in Washington, D.C., and inside is the first jury trial that was brought forth by special...
What this young man did was to walk through a courthouse corridor in Los Angeles County on his way to a courtroom where he had some business. While walking through that corridor, he was wearing a jacket upon which were inscribed the words, "Fuck the draft." Also were inscribed the words, "Stop War," and several peace symbols. When he entered the courtroom, he took off his jacket and held it folded. When he left the courtroom, he was arrested for disturbing the peace, specifically engaging in tumultuous and offensive conduct.
Yes, in this respect, it's no different, is it, from what it would be if he'd been picked up out on the street in front of the building or in any other public place?
Exactly, Mr. Chief Justice. I think that's. I think it's important. the outset to point out to the court that there was no violence, no component of violence present, pointing out, as it does, as it can do, depending upon this court's decision, the very vital distinction between dissent, which may be offensive to people, some people may not like it, but non-violent dissent is terribly important. We submit, Your Honors, that this court make clear that distinction, that dissent by its very nature involves the right to be offensive. If non-offensive dissent is almost a contradiction in terms, because if it's non-offensive, it means you agree with it.
I just want to say thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
I'm serious. We come here every week and it's annoying.
Yeah, we're going to cite him.
I told my husband, his freedom of speech stops when our freedom starts.
His freedom doesn't trump your freedom. So.
Exactly.
Yes,
thank you for everything
I
you
agree.
do.
Thank you.
It couldn't be any more clear from the body cam footage showing interactions between different officers and residents that the real problem here was the content of this man's speech, which caused them to dig and dig and dig to try to find a statute or code that they could cite him with. And I can absolutely, positively guarantee you that if someone actually had the money to fight this statute in court, it would be deemed unconstitutional, just as the California law was deemed unconstitutional in Cohen v. California. The problem is that we've got busybodies within government creating new laws and ordinances every single day. And it takes so much more time, money, and effort to have something like this overruled in a court than it does for a city council to jot this nonsense on paper and then vote it into law. As usual, I did reach out to the police department and specifically asked to talk to Lieutenant Lipker.
And I want to say all these city ordinance rules and all that kind of stuff, they are bylaws, which is what I call bypass laws, because only the state can make laws. So the cities cannot make laws. So that's the reason why I call it a bypass law, even though it is technically called I keep on wanting to say bypass, but it's not bypass, bylaw. Alright?
Or any other lieutenant that was available. As usual, the department did not contact me back, which tells me that they intend to continue their behavior. Hey everybody, it's James.
Anyway, there you guys go. And the reason why I did this was just it was a fairly good opportunity to bring up the American jurisprudence on what ordinance are and what residents are. And it's president. Even though I don't like that word, it's president. Alright? So, again, these attorneys know these things, or a lot of them do, you know. But yet, they don't make money off them. It is easier just to kind of go with the flow and kind of just ease through the courts. And really none of them says that, well, Your Honor, according to American jurisprudence, you know, ordinance is a member of the corporation. Well, according to American jurisprudence, resident is a renter. You know, they won't go that far. Of course, the book's $20,000, but it is what it is. Till next time, these will be the People News. Bye, y'all.